necessity, not a luxury. Without them, humanity cannot survive. You have not started living until you rise above the narrow confines of your individualistic concerns to the broader confines of humanity. The greatness of humanity is not in being human, but in being humane. This morning, as you go about your business and your endeavors, put it behind your mind that you are going to impact somebody in the little way that you can. What you would do to that person might not seem big to you, but it is to the person because he or she is really in need of that very show of love. So as you go about this morning, put it behind your mind that there's no human that is more human than another human. So whatever is good for you is good for another person. Good morning from the hills of ZINARIYA here in the city of Jos, Plateau State, Nigeria. It is a bright morning here in the city of Jos with a temperature of about 16 degrees Celsius. It's a cold morning here in the city of Jos. And if you can hear my voice, it means you're rightly tuned into the frequency meter of Unity 93.3 FM and TV. And of course, today is the 15th day of November 2024. Today is Friday, the last working day of the week. Like others will say, they will say, thank God it's Friday. I would say, thank God it's Friday too. As usual, we do this program every day, Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and of course, 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. is the time on a daily. As usual, you know, it is that's your program. That program that comes to you every morning on Unity 93.3 FM. The Unity Train. We do it in 3 segments. The first segment is that segment where we bring to you newspaper headlines the way they are on different dailies. And the second segment is the segment that we call the transit segment. This segment we give analysis into the contemporary issues or issues of concern on newspapers. Then the third segment is that segment I call your segment. This segment allows you to call in, give your input as submissions as to the issues you find interesting, even on newspaper or issues that concerns you and your community directly. Usually I don't do this alone. I usually have a guest in the house, and this morning I have with me an erudite analyst, one whose voice echoes throughout Plateau State and the city of Jos. On this program, he is a regular. He is one that would lend his voice to the cause of humanity at any point in time without flinching. He is one that believes and advocates for the rights of women and children. He is no other person but the person of Barrister Paul Zaruma. You will soon hear his voice, but before then, on social media, on Facebook, you can get us on Unity FM/TV, and on YouTube, you can get us on Unity FM /TV. Then when it's time for you to call on the third segment of this program, the number to call is 07032353315. The number again is 07032353315. When you want to send in your text messages, send it to 08163141141. Barrister, you're welcome to the studio. Good morning.
Thank you so much, Michael Pedro. A beautiful good morning to you. Good morning, Plateau. Good morning, viewers and listeners. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are receiving these signals. Jos is peaceful, beautiful, and lovely. Thank you for having me once again this wonderful morning.
Thank you so much, Barrister. I've been looking forward to having you on this program. The other day I was supposed to have you, but then something came up and then I had to invite a guest. So this morning I have some interesting headlines on the newspaper, and it seems to me as if every year the country's budget seems to skyrocket. Every newspaper has this to say this morning about the 2025 budget. A lot has changed from what we saw in the last budget that the Buhari administration presented before they left. The Telegram has this to say. It says 2025 47.9 trillion budget. Inside details emerge. National Assembly to receive estimates November 15th or 18th. Federal Executive Council approves 2.2 billion borrowing plans to support economic reforms. Proposes $250 billion housing funds to asset deficit. Wike suspends FCDA Executive Secretary Hadi Ahmed indefinitely. Tinubu appoints Daniel Bwala as SA on public communication. ECOWAS court dismisses Serap's suit on 2022 Kaduna train attack. This is on the metrics. And then the Telegraph has this to say. It says Zamfara ghost workers in state service. Federal Executive Council approves 2.2 billion external borrowing and new mortgage fund initiative. That is from the Telegraph. Then the Blueprint says with $75 per barrel crude oil benchmark, FEC approves 47.9 trillion 2025 budget. Targets 6.4% GDP growth. 1,400 okays 2.2 billion borrowing plan. FG commits to January to December budget cycle. National Assembly gets estimates on Monday. This morning,
yes, a lot of budget are coming in. You know, so many. The federal government have set the pace. A lot of other state governors are bringing in their budget for states like Edo State. The governor is just about to settle after swearing in, so he has not yet worked on so many things. As at yesterday, he has ordered commercial banks to close all accounts relating to Edo State government, and he has also sent a strict warning that he's going to take a decisive action on any commercial bank that flout that order. Of course, that was a right steps towards the right direction, because as a governor, it is quite unfortunate that some Nigerian politicians have the nerve to still access government accounts even after leaving office. This is a very unfortunate trend. I think a serious disciplinary action should be taken by relevant security agencies and institutions to avert that. You can't leave office and then you will be tampering with public fund even after leaving office. So that was what the governor of Edo State want to avert. And then he has also ordered that he has suspended the collection of taxes, you know, by, if you like, thugs. So, and other companies and other organizations that the state has been using as middlemen to collect taxes on behalf of the state. You know, that is also a very nice step, because most of these organizations, they are loyal to the government that employ them. So in most cases, the present governor may not really understand what is happening. So the appropriate thing to do is to dismiss those people collecting taxes on behalf of government. And then secondly, if you have been to Edo, some of these thugs receiving taxes, their excesses is something else.
Wow, it is pronounced in those states. I had an experience.
Excesses is something else. They are terrible. They could harass you. They could embarrass you. They don't even know the difference between private vehicles and the commercial vehicle. All they want to do is to extort money. So that's not really actually what's happening in Edo State. Is not actually tax. It is exploitation.
It is.
Yes. So, and then again, so this is also a very good step towards the right direction. And I think these are some of the policies of some of the things that Governor Obaseki tolerated that reduced his popularity, having rode on into power as a result of a high support. Even people who were outside Edo supported the emergence of Governor Obaseki, the then Governor Obaseki, to office. And then what also gave him popularity at that time was the high-handedness of Adams Oshomole and his narcissistic tendencies. So, but be that as it may, this new governor appears to know what he is doing. Again, another development as it affects Edo State is that the governor has also sacked those permanent secretaries that were appointed from outside the civil service. It's quite unfortunate that you could break the law and then appoint somebody who is from a private sector to become a permanent secretary, someone who is not even experienced in the first place. And there is no law that gives room for that. It is quite unfortunate.
That's lottering merit on the altar of sentiment.
These are some of the impunities of Obaseki. Obaseki did a lot of excesses. And that's why when you see people saying, because of the hardship that Nigerians are going, Nigerians are angry with INEC, Nigerians are angry with Edolites, that Edo people voted APC into power despite the sufferings that Nigeria. Edo people really know what they like more than any other person. Governor Obaseki messed up the privilege. He messed up people's goodwill. He messed up so many things. And that is why Edo people say, no, we want somebody outside Obaseki. And then also, if you look at the primaries, the PDP primaries in Edo State, that was a charade. That wasn't a primary. That wasn't primary election, and this also made it to be. That also affected the popularity and acceptability of PDP during the election. So APC were able to be smart enough. They had a popular candidate who is viably competitive, and then he was able to claim the tickets. So, and then they were able. They didn't repeat the mistake of the past. The primaries of the APC was more transparent. At that time, PDP were also grappling with court decision, because at a point in time, the court ordered that primary was a charade, and it was eventually Court of Appeal that actually restored the candidate of the PDP. So as at that time, even when APC were busy campaigning to nook and crannies of Edo State, the PDP were still battling with who becomes their candidate. So you can see these are some of the factors that played against a very contending candidate that I would have preferred to be the governor of Edo State based on his pedigree and achievement is Olamide Akpata. Olamide Akpata did fantastically well and changed the face of NBA when he was NBA chairman. And he was also a jinx breaker, because it has almost become a tradition in the NBA that if you are not an SAN, you will not become the national president of the NBA. So Olamide Akpata was able to break that jinx, and he did not only break the jinx of becoming the national president of the NBA without being an SAN, he outperformed almost, in fact, all his predecessor SAN. Yes, he outperformed them, and he break a particular cycle. And the election that succeeded him was a very transparent and an election that lacks controversy. So he is indeed a jinx breaker and a pace setter and a trailblazer. So when I saw him contesting for the governorship of Edo State, I was like, irrespective of the political party, this is the man to go for. Unfortunately, he was caught up in the web of zoning. Zoning is very, very fundamental in our political climb. So that was what actually affected Olamide Akpata. But if not for that zoning, Olamide Akpata would have been one of the most fantastic persons to rule Edo State. He is indeed an achiever. So be that as it may, when you look at budget from states like Delta State, and you begin to look at budget from states like Zamfara State and perhaps our own Plateau State, you begin to wonder, the difference of this revenue derivation that we are talking about some times ago. The gap is so much that you will wonder. You see, that is why in Delta State, I used to argue that a councillor in Delta State is comparable to a commissioner in Plateau State in terms of access to resources and other dividend of power. When you see a councillor in Delta State, for instance, or Bayelsa State, you will begin to wonder if they are a country within a country. So, you know, the councillors in those states control a lot of resources. But some of our councillors here, they are living from hand to mouth. In fact, they also need assistance. So, you know, it is quite unfortunate. Even though some of us, we celebrate this financial autonomy that has been granted to the local government, so that the face of local government will also change, and then some of our councillors who have direct access to the grassroots will be able to make the necessary impact. If you are a councillor that you cannot even dig a well, not to talk about a borehole at times, that's why some of them, they keep, as soon as they resume office, they keep running away from people. It's not as if they plan to run away from people, but the reality they encounter in the office, they are confronted with in the office, is not what they actually expected.
And again, the high demand from the people.
Yes, and then the high demand of the people is unattainable. So you can see some of these things, and that is why you see the northern governors recently rose and said, no, they don't want this tax, the income bill that the president has just proposed to the National Assembly, that executive bill, you know, particularly the northern governors. Once this bill sees the light of the day, particularly some of the relevant sections that the northern governors are pushing against, when you talk about most of the industries, we spoke about industries some times ago when the issue of the bill came up. You know, if you look at northern Nigeria generally, you begin to wonder how many companies we still have. I told you last time that the state in the northern Nigeria are still competing on building flyovers, where there are various capital projects that the state needed to add value and give purpose to the people in various states. You know, it is quite unfortunate. Like in Plateau State, I'm telling you, we are not really maximizing the agrarian advantage that we have over other states. We have the good climate, we have the climatic condition, we have good soil, but you know, you don't really seem to see that we are really improving in terms of agriculture. It appears a lot of political rhetoric is coming into play, and innuendos and so on and so forth. We really want to see a deliberate direction towards revamping our agricultural sector, so that we really feed the nation. You know, it is arguable that Plateau State is actually the food basket of the nation, not Benue State. Benue may be carrying the slogan, but I'm telling you, Plateau State is indeed the food basket of the nation. Some of us were close to some of the things that are happening, particularly when Decree 003 of 2004 was introduced. That was when we knew that Plateau State is actually feeding the entire Nigeria. When you talk about different kind of food produce, we have variety in Plateau State.
In the light of this very conversation, this very assertion you just made right now, you took my attention back to somewhere. The issue of the flyover you spoke on and the mispriorities of... I would want to ask a question. Sorry for interrupting that very flow. Do you think it was a smart decision by the Lalonde's administration to actually prioritize that flyover at British America as against the terminus market?
Well, Lalonde didn't really prioritize that flyover. Okay. Lalonde also prioritized the terminus market, but the religion factor came into play. You know, unfortunately, this same Jais Bank, look at the project they are doing in Eastern Nigeria. A lot of governors from Eastern Nigeria, Eastern Nigeria is more predominantly Christian state than Plateau State.
True.
Yes. So, and then you can see that their governors are accessing this fund from Jais Bank. So it was, the whole Jais Bank issue was politicized. So Lalonde didn't really prioritize that flyover over terminus. He wanted to do the project concurrently, but unfortunately it was politicized, and the vehicle of religion was what was used to fight against that project. Jais Bank, assuming they develop that market, they are not taking that market outside anywhere. The revenue is remaining here. I said it somewhere. When Terminus Market was Terminus Market, who was talking about Kantinkori in Kano?
Nobody.
Who was talking about Kano?
Nobody.
I am telling you, the factories were, some of the factories were in Kano, but they were bringing the product directly to Plateau State. The market was here. But today, after the burning of Terminus, or the unfortunate situation that happened to Terminus Market, you can see that most of the market has moved to Kano. At that time, people from Bauchi, from Gombe, from Kaduna, we are coming to Terminus Market here to buy product from Plateau State. Particularly, this is the season. The traffic is in Kano, in Terminus as it used to be there. Plateau State was the destination. People from Chad, people from Ghana, people from Togo coming to Terminus when Terminus was Terminus. But unfortunately, you know, Lalong wanted to revamp the market, and you can see today what we're having. You know, they politicize it, bring in religion, demonize Lalong, and so on and so forth. So, and now nobody is talking about the market. No, nothing is being said about the market. So, and then we're also talking about the inland dry port. I remember when Lalong came to power, he had a very solid relationship with Rotimi Amechi. And Rotimi Amechi, when he came to Plateau State, he promised that the inland dry port will start functioning within 9 months. I was very excited by that report. Unfortunately, it became one of those usual promises by politicians. Over 9 years down the line, nothing has happened to just dry port. This would have served as a strategic point of harnessing our tourism potential, agricultural potential, and so on and so forth. But unfortunately, that didn't also see the light. I think on the side of Rotimi Amechi, he didn't reciprocate the love of Plateau State towards him. Even during the last primaries election, apart from his own River State, where he got the highest vote was from Plateau delegates. So you can see it's quite unfortunate that you know, some of these things are just going on like that. But that's why some of us were celebrating the emergence of Nentawe as Minister of Humanitarian Services and Poverty Reduction, because this is a very strategic ministry, particularly that the poverty level of Nigeria is very, very alarming, and Plateau State has never enjoyed that kind of political patronage throughout the Fourth Republic, particularly from 1999 till date. Is that they give us State Minister of Science and Technology, Minister of Youth and Sport, Minister of Women Affairs, Minister of Water Resources. That is what the kind of patronage that Plateau State has been getting. I
have a special interest as to this very topic that we're discussing. If we come back from this very short break, we're going to have discuss more about this very topic that we have to discuss. Please stay tuned. We'll be back in the jiffy.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion? How was your...
Are you bored and need some company? Get a TV experience like no other on Unity TV. We are turning up the hits with captivating TV shows, electrifying political programs, music, movies, and lots more that will leave you craving. I'm sure you want to know more. Tune in to Unity TV today and let the excitement take over.
Please pay attention. It starts from the foundation. Everybody needs somebody. You turn a blind eye and care nothing less. Say it's just business, all about the money. You as long as they pay. Say it's just business, all about the money. You know they're on a fast lane, but you've got business to run. So you look away the other way.
It concerns you. It a kill law, it a kill dreams. It a land people for jail. War against drug abuse.
Get ready to be entertained and inspired by the incredible stories around the globe. Don't miss out on the excitement. Hello at Work is an ultimate TV program that brings to you the interesting stories and daily happenings worldwide. Join us Mondays and Thursdays 10 a.m. as we dive into the daily happenings and stories. Tune in and stay. Say hello to the world as you bring in your ideas, as it is a perfect blend of entertainment and information. Get ready to stay up to date while being entertained.
I was the head boy in my primary school, senior prefect and best graduating student in my secondary school, but drug abuse almost ruined my life.
I was on an average of 2 grams of cocaine per day.
I was taking 8 ampoules of pentazosine daily.
European shisha, cocaine.
I became a user, a dealer and a gangster.
I saw other users drowning. I knew I didn't want to be like them, but I was already trapped.
My family disowned me.
My employment was terminated.
I sold my car, sold my house. I'll go out well-dressed and return shoeless, shirtless in exchange for drugs.
I was seeing things that were not real, and I once stabbed myself because I felt something crawling under my skin.
I contacted NDLEA and started therapy.
I spent 3 months in therapy.
I spent 8 months.
It's easy to relapse, but your mind has to be stronger than the cravings.
Drugs does not love you. You are not the one using drugs. Drugs are the one using you. Say no to drug abuse.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the worrisome increase in the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The FSRCC and NBC hereby advises the general public to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Make sure to verify the licensing status of such companies and schemes on this website. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call 0700 225 5226, 0800 225 5226, or +234 817 665 6273. Let's work together to uphold the integrity of Nigeria's financial system. Announcer, FSRCC.
Unity. Unity TV.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead.
Back from that short break. If you can still hear my voice, it means you're rightly tuned into the frequency meter of Unity 93.3 FM and TV here in the city of Jos. And of course, it is still that your most anticipated political and socio-economic program on the radio, the Unity Train. Before we went on that very short break, we were having an in-depth conversation as to certain issues that concerns us here, especially on the plateau. Today we are bringing it home, and then the conversation is revolving around the budget and other policies that we're taking in the past that we feel are of interest. So we're looking into them this morning, and we would want you to be part of this conversation, because the next segment is going to be your segment, the segment where you call in and give your submissions and inputs. You can start sending in your text messages to 08163141141, and if you want to call when it's time for you to call in, you can call 07032353315. So Barrister, before we went on that very short break, we were having a conversation as to the reason why the past administration would prioritize an overhead bridge over the terminus market, considering the fact that Plateau State is a civil service state. IGR is relatively low compared to other states like Bayelsa, Edo, and the likes that you mentioned. we do not generate much from our internally generated revenues. So we were talking about the bridge, the overhead bridge.
Yes.
And the budget for that bridge, if I am right, was 9.9 billion naira.
Yes.
And the budget for terminus, as at the time of flag off,
the budget was around 9.9
billion.
Yes.
And then the budget to rebuild terminus,
yes,
it was 10 billion naira. So the difference was around 100 million.
Yes.
From the bridge,
yes, it was
and market.
Yes.
Don't you think it is rather a mispriority to prioritize a bridge that will not generate revenue for the state as against a market that will generate revenue for the state, considering our current state?
Like I earlier hinted, Governor Lalong at that time was not trying to place the bridge ahead of the market, or the market ahead of the bridge.
Okay.
He wanted to embark on a concurrent project. You know, once that market is rebuilt, that accessibility from British America, there will not be enough space. Even as at the time that the market was not even functioning, you know the traffic that used to be there. So Lalong wanted to open up the space at British America, because vehicle will start coming in to feed the market with produce. So that was why he enlarged the British America interchange bridge. Now, the plan was to enlarge that British American junction to for free flow of traffic, and then also rebuild the market. So it wasn't a placement of one project ahead of another. It was a concurrent project. But unfortunately, the whole thing was politicized, you know, and then they used the sensibility of religion in politicizing it and frustrated that laudable development. And Michael Pedro, don't forget that Governor Lalong also restored back farm.
Yeah, but
yes, he restored back farm. We lost back farm during the regime of Fidelis Tabco.
Yes, very true.
So Governor Lalong was able to redeem back farm back to Plateau State. And you know that back farms have the capacity, the potential to supply raw material to Grand Cereals, supply raw material to NASCO. But it isn't the case today in Plateau State. Rather, people from Saminaka are the people now supply raw material to NASCO and Grand Cereals. Saminaka, Kano, and some other parts of the country.
What would you say was the militating factor? Was it lack of funding, or the fact that that very...
It's policy approach. It should be a deliberate thing. I gave you an instance. There was time when, during Governor Hashidu of Gombe State, Gombe State have the manpower, but they were not harnessing the manpower when it comes to medical profession. Most of the medical practitioners in Gombe State at that time were non-Gombe State, if you like, citizens or indigents.
Yeah.
They were from other parts of the country, and in most cases, they left at will. Most of them came as a result of NYSC, and then when they find greener pasture, they stay. And unexpectedly, in most cases, they either the Japa syndrome will take them away and whatever. When Denjuma Goje came in as governor, he saw that there was a need to motivate, to harness from the human resources in Gombe State. It is a visionary leadership. It is a purposeful leadership. It doesn't happen in a day. In most cases, it is not rocket science. And at times it's very simple. Before you knew it, Denjuma Goje started giving humongous amount of money for scholarship to medical students. Not only medical students, pharmacy students, nursing students across the country. And then many people were going into, because at that time, during Danjuma Goje's regime, as soon as you are in that area, in that field, in fact, there were times that even some magistrates were from neighboring Bauchi state and whatever, Danjuma Goje gave law students scholarship. And he boosted the number of, and then today, the human resources in Gombe State, they are dominated that landscape. That aspect of the economy. That is visionary leadership. That is purposeful leadership. And then he quickly established Gombe State University and established Gombe State College of Nursing. This is visionary leadership. How many students graduate every year from Gombe State College of Nursing as we speak today? The same thing with Governor Kwankwaso. The same thing was happening in Kano. And then the then Governor Kwankwaso saw a gap, and he said, okay, go to secondary schools, pick the best performing student. We are going to give them scholarship. We are not going to send you to US or Canada or China to go and study certain courses. I don't want to mention courses because every course is important. But there was a deliberate policy that certain courses were targeted in order to fill in a vacancy. And you know, in Kano State, religiously speaking, they are not always comfortable with certain sex handling and delivery. So, Kwankwaso's regime deliberately trained so many female doctors in order to address that area of religious sensibility. This is what we call visionary, purposeful leadership. In Plateau State, we have regained back farm, but what is happening in back farm, for instance?
So the case of Plateau State is the case of
what
lack
is
of
happening
continuity
to our GIB? And this is not only a case of Plateau State. It is a case that is happening in the whole northern state. That is why you see the northern state governors all suddenly united and started shouting against this policy that President TUNTBE. I said it some times ago here, that the biscuits we take, the sweets that we buy for our children, are not produced from Plateau State. Are not even produced mostly from northern part of the country.
Mostly. It's either Ogun,
so
Oshun,
if that bill sees the light of the day, then you will now begin. It will now consolidate on what we are complaining of. One of the security to the former speaker of Plateau State, he said when they went for conferences of speakers, so when the guys from the Niger Delta saw our them from the northern part of the country, they say, "Of your siren, you are Bochi speaker." Yes, you know, they said it jokingly according to what he was telling me, but it is derogatory.
It is.
They are telling them, you are just wearing siren as a speaker. You don't have even what the resources we have. You don't have the resources we have. I'm telling you, I did my NYC in Delta State. At that time, a councillor is comparable to a commissioner here in Plateau State. A councillor. He wielded a lot of influence and accessed a lot of resources. So when they come here, they see our councillors, they begin to wonder
if they are actually
if we're in the same Nigeria, because they don't have access to the kind of resources that they have. So we really have to look inward. President Tinubu may succeed with that executive bill. The bill may not see the light of the day, but whether we like it or not, we have a problem on ground.
Actually.
And then another issue that the northern part of the country should address is the issue of security. No investor will invest if we don't have security.
Of course.
And it is also unfortunate that if you look at the equation, the people from northern Nigeria rule this country more than any other part of the country. But today, can we boldly say that we have created a suitable, conducive atmosphere to host some of these investors?
Not at all.
When I see that the president or governors going outside the country say they want to woo investors, how many have they who suffer? From 1999 till date, how many investors, all these travelers, all this humongous amount of money that they have been going, spending, traveling, if you calculate from 1990, it runs into trillions. At state level, I'm not even talking about federal. If you talk about federal level, annually is trillions at state level. You want to go and woo investor. Which investor will come and invest in Sokoto now that they are battling with banditry, and then foreign lakurawas are now coming to cause a threat in the state? I was observing the comment of Sheikh Gumi. You know, Sheikh Gumi is unfortunately suggesting that kinetic approach should be adopted in handling the lakurawas, which is very unfortunate statement from people that are supposed to be national, have the nation at heart. I think such kind of statement is not too good to be coming from figures like Gumi, and then he has been notorious for making for creating soft landing for terrorists, which is very unfortunate. How can lakurawas with what they are doing, with the danger they portend, foreigners for that matter, they are not Nigerians. It has been established by intelligence reports that these guys are not from Nigeria. They are from Mali, Libya, Niger, and some other Sahel region. It's just recently that they are recruiting Nigerians. Can I even call it recruitment? That's not even a recruitment. It's conscription.
Yeah, it's conscription actually.
They are conscripting Nigerians.
They are forcefully recruited them.
So you can see that this is what, and then a figure that's supposed to speak for the interests of the country is saying that that they should not be is it a kinetic or non? You know that the federal government should use force, that they should use negotiation or whatever. You know, can we move like that? I like the approach of the ministry. On whose
permission did they start functioning at first? Did they seek for the federal government's permission to start functioning, that we should give handle them with kid gloves? They came forcefully.
Do they even have the relevant document to come into Nigeria?
That is what I'm saying. So already, it's illegal already and illegality should not be tolerated.
They are criminals.
Of course.
So we cannot suspend our legal system and begin to bring either morality or sentiment of whatever in handling such issues. You know, by the time you begin to interview those locals, you see what they are passing through. You know, they in your own country. Someone will come from out a foreign country, come to your own country, create rancor, chaos, and discomfort for you.
If you're not safe in your country, where will you be safe?
So it is quite unfortunate. We're in the democratic era. He is entitled to his opinion, but it's also left for the authorities to pick or not to pick what they want. But, you know, the approach of the military has been very, very impressive. You know, the military has dealt with them. Those ones that were trying to access KB State, they have retreated, and then they are also they are approaching those ones that those ones that were heading towards Yobe State have retreated. You know, I saw videos of some communities in Yobe State celebrating the retreat, and then also the military were pursuing them from three fronts. Yes, that's from Sokoto axis, from those who want to access Yobe State, and then also those who are approaching Kebbi State. So for those ones approaching Yobe State has been they have retreated, and you know, Nigerians are celebrating because they have been living in horror. So, but if you look at what is, because they have gotten a very solid foundation in Sokoto State, the battle has been expanding all this while.
Unfortunately,
you know, and one of the persons that spoke, he said they started exchanging gunfire from 6 a.m. or thereabout to 2 p.m. So just imagine.
Therefore, means they have beefed up their arsenal.
How can civilians defend themselves over this kind of people? With military from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. exchanging gunfire, to tell you that they are super dangerous. They are super dangerous, and then they are really prepared. And then Nigerian government should also be ready that to confront this thing head from. They should not listen to people like Sheikh Gumi. They should not listen. We should take a decisive action and tell them that yes, Nigerian territory is not suitable for you. So you can see how, just imagine an innocent villager that is sleeping, someone that can confront military, How many hours? And then they attack you, they say defend yourself. How will you defend yourself? So these authorities should really wake up with what? What do you have? These are people confronting me from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. on gunfire before they eventually retreated. And they retreated because of the air attack that came, the support that came from the Air Force. Not because of the artillery fire.
Not because they were out
Not
of
because of
ammunition.
the artillery fire. They retreated because the air support that came. So you can see how super dangerous these guys are. So this is a very serious issue. And then this is a challenge that is confronting the northern part of the country. So the point we are making is that which investor will come and invest here? So we should address our internal problem before you will even go and invite an investor. There are so many things that needed to be addressed in Nigeria before you talk about going to bring in an investor.
Of course.
So except if they are going in for their tourism or whatever, they want to go and relax and enjoy themselves. But how many foreign investors have they brought? All our governors that have been traveling outside, how many foreign investors have they brought?
If I were an investor
for the past 1 year, for instance, how many foreign investors has Governor Mutfam brought to Plateau State? So let us address our internal problem. First. Let us also harness the potentials that we have. Let us also, by the time we begin to harness our own local potential, it will provoke, naturally provoke foreign investors. You don't need to go and be telling them. They have reports. Yeah, they have their own reports that they have, independent reports they are getting. So all this issue of traveling to go and woo foreign investors, I think our politicians should change another language. It is no longer viable. It is not effective. It has not really yielded anything. So they should change approach and develop what you have. By the time you develop what you have, then it will naturally bring.
It doesn't even make sense repeatedly doing the same thing and you're not getting results.
Yes.
Except if you're just doing it as a jamboree.
Doing the same thing and
yes, you're just doing it as a jamboree just to make it seem as if you're working. Meanwhile, you know actually that it's not going to yield anything. But then another
the history of Nigerian President Buhari is one of the highest foreign traveler. And all the excuses he has been using in his journeys is that he want to go and woo foreign investors. How many has he?
I cannot point.
And I am telling you, in terms of security approach, President Tinubu is harsher on these terrorists and bandits than Buhari's regime.
I agree with you.
Buhari was handling them with kid gloves. And then at a point in time, you will even wonder if the presidential spokesperson had become the spokespersons for the
terrorists. Actually,
yes, because they keep on giving a justification narrative for the terrorists during Buhari's regime. But in this regime, it is a decisive thing. If it were during Buhari's regime, they will be listening to people like Sheikh Gumi. But as long as Tinubu is concerned, Gumi has the right, it's a democratic setting, he is entitled to his opinion, but the federal government are taking a decisive action, which they have started. And we should also give it to the CDS. The CDS has been very, very active and pragmatic, Christopher Musa. And then, interestingly, he spent most of his life in Sokoto. And even most of the people surrounding him are from Sokoto State. So the CTS, as long as he's concerned, he is historically a Kaduna's indigene, but he grew up traditionally, culturally, and by his shaping, he's a Sokoto person. So you can see that the CDS has taken a very decisive step, and we're encouraging the military to maintain the momentum. We are not here only to criticize, but where they are doing well, we have to commend them. They have started well. Their approach is very, very fantastic. They should maintain the tempo. They should keep on with the momentum, and then give Nigerians the result we desire.
Actually, another area of concern for me today is the fact that I observe from the last administration, there has always been an increase when it comes to budget. There has always been an increase, and not just a minute increase, a humongous increase every year after year. Would you want to lend your voice as to why you think it is like that?
Yeah, excuse me. It's natural. With the inflation, the budget cost of things rises. So the budget would naturally rise. So it's a very normal thing. The increase is normal. But the question is, most of the things, you begin to wonder whether they are really necessary. For instance, we have been receiving budget about terminus market, a market that is not functioning. Year in, year out, you will see budget terminus market. From different governors. I'm not talking about only one governor. So where is the budget going to? What are they doing with it in the market? So you can see some of the unfortunate things that we are talking about. So when you are bringing, we should have a practical budget that is implementable. And then the budget should also be realistic. Should be realistic. I was impressed with the budget of Delta State. You know, the governor said, we are not going to borrow a dime to fund the budget. And I was very, very impressed with that. So you can see, and that is also a challenge. That's what drove us to the point that we are pointing that northern states really need to look inwards. We have to create good and suitable atmosphere. I am telling you, if we do not create the good atmosphere, then we'll just be chasing the wind. We'll just be chasing the wind. It will just be garbage in, garbage out. It will be like a merry-go-round. It is going to be like a roller coaster. So you know, it's quite unfortunate. So we cannot continue on that cycle, and then with no any serious progress. So if
no
it must be a very deliberate thing, you know. For instance, we have mentioned back farm. We have also mentioned some of GIB, ASTC, very laudable project by the Jang regime.
Around Mango access.
It was spread across the geopolitical zones. It wasn't in one area in Plateau State. Very laudable project, purposeful, visionary project, but it wasn't sustained. It wasn't sustained.
Now, the past administration,
the administration did not sustain the project. And then we don't know what is happening to the project in the Mutfan administration. It was rarely mentioned, but we don't know if any serious step will be taken about it subsequently. So these are projects that we should revamp. I remember there was a PPA concerning New Jos Hotel. Anytime I enter New Jos Hotel, I see a lot of potential. During Lalon's regime, there was a public-private partnership concerning New Jos Hotel. I was happy. But what happened? Nothing. Nothing. A private developer came and said, yeah, I would develop the hotel, blah, blah, blah. Make a lot of noise. But what happened? Nothing. So you can see, look at Hill Station Hotel. It was a destination of tourists. But today, Hill Station Hotel is a shadow of itself.
It is actually, unfortunately.
Look at the glorious Plateau Hotel. But today, in fact, people are even renting in Plateau Hotel. It has become people's houses. Actually, people are renting. People have become tenants in Plateau Hotel. They will even live with their families. You know.
That is, it's more like we have given up on that very hotel.
This is supposed to be home of peace and tourism. So what is happening to the tourism? Look at these are solid tourism edifice. Well, what is happening there?
We thank God for the relative peace that we're having, but the place of tourism, we are seriously lacking. We are no longer pushing for tourism.
When Plateau State was really a tourist state, who was talking about Obudukatu land? Who was talking about Calabar? So you can see that there are a lot of things to be.
You can imagine if Donald Duke can do what he did with Obudu.
Yes.
How much can we do on the plateau? We'll be going for a very, very short break, and we'll be back in a jiffy. Please keep your fingers crossed and start typing in your text messages to 08163141141. The numbers to call when we come back from this break is 07032313315. We'll be right back.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion? How was your...
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the worrisome increase in the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The FSRCC and NBC hereby advises the general public to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Make sure to verify the licensing status of such companies and schemes on this website. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call 0700 225 5226, 0800 225 5226, or +234 817 665 6273. Let's work together to uphold the integrity of Nigeria's financial system. Announcer, FSRCC.
Unity. Unity TV.
Please pay attention. It starts from the foundation. Everybody needs somebody. You turn a blind eye and care nothing less. Say it's just business, all about the money. You are so unbothered as long as they pay. Say it's just business, all about the money. You know they're on a fast lane, but you've got business to run. So you look away the other way.
It concerns you. It kill law, it kill dreams. It land people for jail. War against drug abuse.
Are you bored and need some company? Get a TV experience like no other on Unity TV. We are turning up the hits with captivating TV shows, electrifying political programs, music, movies, and lots more that will leave you craving. I'm sure you want to know more. Tune in to Unity TV today and let the excitement take over. Get ready to be entertained and inspired by the incredible stories around the globe. Don't miss out on the excitement. Hello at Work is an ultimate TV program that brings to you the interesting stories and daily happenings worldwide. Join us Mondays and Thursdays 10 a.m. as we dive into the daily happenings and stories. Tune in and stay. Say hello to the world as you bring in your ideas, as it is a perfect blend of entertainment and information. Get ready to stay up to date while being entertained.
I was the head boy in my primary school, senior prefect and best graduating student in my secondary school, but drug abuse almost ruined my life.
I was on an average of 2 grams of cocaine per day.
I was taking 8 ampoules of pentazosine daily.
European shisha, cocaine.
I became a user, a dealer, and a gangster.
I saw other users drowning. I knew I didn't want to be like them, but I was already trapped.
My family disowned me.
My employment was terminated.
I sold my car, sold my house. I'll go out well-dressed and return shoeless, shirtless in exchange for drugs.
I was seeing things that were not real, and I once stabbed myself because I felt something crawling under my skin.
I contacted NDLEA and started therapy.
I spent 3 months in therapy.
I spent 8 months.
It's easy to relapse, but your mind has to be stronger than the cravings.
Drugs does not love you. You are not the one using drugs. Drugs are the one using you. Say no to drug abuse.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long.
You're welcome back from that very short break. If you can still hear my voice, then it means you're rightly tuned into the frequency meter of Unity 93.3 FM and TV. And of course, it is still that your most anticipated political and socio-economic program on the radio, the Unity Train. Before we went on that very short break, we were having an in-depth conversation as regards certain issues that concerns politics on Nigeria and Plateau State as a place. So far so good. We've had a lot of conversations this morning, and we still have something we want to talk about a little, which is the forthcoming election tomorrow at Ondo State. We know Ondo State will be having their election tomorrow, being the 16th day of November 2024. And the barrister would want to lend his voice as to what the expectations are and what are the current happenings in Ondo State. Barrister, sir.
Yes, in Ondo State, tomorrow will be the election. As at yesterday, we witnessed early arrival of materials, and then both political parties across line stated they appreciated the approach of INEC to the election. So far, so good. But you know, in those days, INEC, they used to have problem at the point of distribution, and that's where they manipulate the election. But it appears INEC has become sophisticated. So we don't celebrate them now, in as much as we should give them kudos for a beautiful start. But until the final result is announced, and then that's where we will finally say, yes, INEC has done very well. You know, it's unfortunate that in the election of United States of America, even before the umpire announced the result, presidents from different countries, head of state from different countries have started calling in to congratulate Donald Trump. Why was it so? Because the process of collation was transparent. Yeah. The process was very, very transparent. So, but in Nigeria, we have a case where INEC will be threatening fire and brimstone on anybody who announces results before them. It is quite unfortunate. We should have a transparent process. And once we did not have a transparent process into our powerhouses, then we will keep on having this problem as a recurrent decimal. So, be that as it may, it is a clash. The major contestant are the APC candidate and the PDP candidate. It is called the clash of the deputies because they were both deputy governors of the late governor Akeredolu. They once served as deputy at one point or the other. And interestingly, both of them promised the citizens of Ondo State that they are going to pay the salaries beyond the minimum wage, which is also a very good promise. So it is a clash of the titans. So as then again, we have also related development where Accord Party and some candidates from other political parties said that they have relinquished their ambition for a certain candidate. I think this is a very awful and terrible development in our politics. How can you go to contest primary election in your own political party, win against other contestants, have the mandates of that political party, then shortly before the election you say you are stepping down for a particular candidate? You see, that brings us to the issue of politics of ideology. It is quite unfortunate. It shows that these politicians are just doing it for themselves. Like yesterday, was it yesterday also, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu appointed Daniel Boala, sorry, as his aide. You know, and then people were just lifting some of the comments of Daniel Bola previously when he was Atiku's spokesman during the campaign. In fact, in one of the comments, it was alleged that he stated that if you want Nigeria to deteriorate, hand it over to President Tinubu. And today the same Boala is coming to. So you see, where is our principle? Where is our ideology? So when I saw the news yesterday, it was really unfortunate. About 4 to 5 candidates of political parties saying they are suspending their candidacy for a particular candidate. It is quite unfortunate. It is a terrible thing. This guys doesn't have national interest at heart.
But looking at it from a positive perspective,
interest. Yes.
Don't you think that is possible if, say for instance, I'm contending for a position with you, and then I come to realize that your manifesto, your personal manifesto, your ideology coincides with mine, it is the same, and then I believe you have the capacity to actually drive the state, and then I decide to back down for you, since we are going there to do the same thing. The whole idea is for the state to move forward, and I now believe you can move the state forward. Is it bad for me to step down for you?
How come that we have similar ideology and from this different political party? That is where the problem. That's the $1 million question. You now see the lack of ideology in our politicians. So you can see it is all about interest, vested interest for that matter. You know, can you imagine a Democrat who say, I am relinquishing my candidacy for a Republican candidate in an American situation?
Well, the American situation
you understand?
Is the political
because when you
have,
see
ideologies.
Yes.
But here I'm talking about individual ideologies, considering the fact that our political parties do not really have ideologies in the true sense of it.
Yes.
We don't have ideology.
But is it a good thing that we don't have ideology?
It is not.
So what are we working? So you can see that the same political actors are the same enemies of democracy. That is the point we are trying to make. So you can see the hypocritical level of our politician. So you know, if there is a shift of ideology, for instance, this young man that attempted to assassinate Donald Trump, you know, investigation revealed that he was a registered member of Republican Party, but recently he was sending donation to leftists. So it shows that at a point in time there was a shift in ideology. Actually. So now that he is, in fact, he was the donations were being sent to extreme leftists. So it is a clear cut. The investigation clearly revealed that, well, this man at a point in time shifted his ideology to the Democrats, even though he didn't relinquish his membership of this thing. So we agree that at a point in life, as you grow, as you encounter certain things, as you get more informed, as you get some, you confront a lot of things, there could be change of ideology. But once we have politicians that have ideology and stand by the ideology, even if there is a change of ideology, it will be clearly and well defined. There is nothing. In fact, it is part of the beauty of democracy that you have freedom of expression. If you have changed ideology, you can express it by shifting from the board of a certain ideology to another area of ideology. So this is quite unfortunate development. We wish Edo, and even the governor have declared a work-free day today. So we wish Edo people a peaceful election, and then we also call upon INEC to make sure that the election is credible, peaceful, free, fair, and transparent.
All right, that's a beautiful one from the barrister there. I have a text message this morning. It says, good morning. But before the text message, the number to call is 070-3235-3315. You can start calling in to give your input and submissions. I already have some text messages with me. This one says, good morning, Mike Pedro and the guest. Nigeria have the capacity to flush out all forms of music. Oh, sorry. I'm reading a text message from yesterday. This one says, good morning, Mike Pedro and the barrister. The problem of our leader is lack of vision and patriotism. If the government cannot rebuild back the Jos main market, it is not possible to lease it out to a capable individual or companies to build it back and negotiate on the repayment. Terminus main market was one of the best. The revenue alone can build the stage. So is the market forgotten forever? My regards to Kulbi and the Prof from Emmy Longs in Agingi. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. I can hear you. Your name and where you're calling from?
No, I am Bashir Wanta calling from Jos.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, Barrister, good morning.
Good morning.
We really appreciate the unbiased analysis. I want to contribute about this issue that the Chef Gumi contributed against these terrorists. I'm not a supporter of it fully. Let the army use their power so that somebody that wants to try this such case will fight as a deterrent to him. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bashir Damkoli. That's a very beautiful and unbiased insight from you there. Bashir Damkoli would always call in and give his input on a daily and is very, very unbiased in doing that. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Hello?
Yeah, your name and where you're calling from?
I'm Christy.
Oh, Christy is on. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. How is work?
Thank God. How's yours?
I just want to say kudos to the barrister for always giving us a wonderful and objective analysis.
Thank you.
Thank you, Christy.
I also want to warn people. Honestly, these people that used to collect money from people, they have started again because Christmas is around the corner. They have started. Just on Monday, I was duped of 210,000 naira. You know, that's why I don't even have your text line. At least I have this one off head.
Wow.
I have it on my head.
You were duped in the tricycle?
People should please be careful. I don't know whether they use gas or whatever, but people should just be careful the kind of thing they enter.
Okay.
It's not showing at all.
And you did not get the PT number of the keke?
Huh?
You don't have the PT number of the keke?
No, I could not. I didn't even remember to carry any number.
That's really unfortunate. Sorry for that unfortunate incident.
I didn't even know. I was going to terminals. I just saw myself walking around this lead pad. And I boarded the ticket to go to terminal. I just saw myself around there. I don't know what happened.
Wow.
I didn't even know when I came back from the ticket. Oh, I don't know.
That's really unfortunate.
I've not been myself since Monday, but at least I thank God that I'm alive.
Thank God. Thank God. Thank God.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. God bless you.
Have a nice day.
You too, ma. God bless you. That's really unfortunate. You heard from Christy Izan from Rukubaro. She's a regular caller. She sends text messages always into this program, and unfortunately she was bedeviled with this incident of do I call them armed robbers or dupes? They duped her of some money, just like she said. So she said, be careful the kind of tricycle you enter. If before you take a tricycle, watch and see the people that are inside and be careful. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Chief Ambassador Usman Big 7. I'm calling from ZINARIYA.
Usman Big 7. Good morning, sir.
Yes, thank you, sir. First of all, let me start by commending the effort of the radio station and your guest for doing justice to this topic.
Thank you so much,
actually, regarding the issue of shape to me, this one it looks like we don't want to help matters. And one thing that baffles me, most of the time, this man is saying something that will cause something wrong to this nation. And people are just just looking at him. Please and please, we want government to take a decisive action regarding this comment. If truly they want to right the wrong. Thank you. God bless you people. Have a nice day. Thank you.
God bless you too, Usman Big 7. That was from Usman Big 7. I have this text message. It says, oh, before this text message, I have a call. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
I am Justin calling from Jos.
Okay, Justin Agbo, you have the floor.
Yes, I want to salute the barrister for his usual comments that are very neutral and very, very progressive.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, I want to talk about the position. Yes, I like especially about the project on the main market. And it was short, and I saw it was again. And I see that opposition at that time was a reductive one, but a reductive one, not a backward one. At least now we have seen something done in the market. At least something should have started now. At least, but that kind of position was very, very, very negative one. And look at what happened now about the worker salary. 70,000 minimum wage. I want to thank the opposition. Yes, for fighting for the plateau workers. And the governor has passed. Yes, and yes, he has eventually yes, they talked about it. Why should the plateau be coming back on? What happened in last time? Why should we say that what happened during last time? What should we do up to now? And we thank God that the governor has had. And we thank the EPC for giving us Thank you very much.
Thank you too. God bless you. Have a nice day. This one says, good morning, Mr. Pedro and the barrister Paul Zarima. Honestly, I can say it without repetition of words. Bringing religion into politics is doing more harm to us as a people than national development. Sadly, Terminus Market is now remained the marketless while we are still home of peace and tourism. Thank you, Ismail Isa from Enshanu. That was from Ismail Isa from Enshanu. I have another text message here. Okay, before this text message, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Pedro.
Good morning, sir.
I'm Marita Garuma in the studio.
Good morning, Mr. Adeumi.
Mr. Adeumi calling from Bochiro.
Yes, Mr. Adeumi.
You see, my take this morning is very simple. At first, you see, when we talk about the terminus market for which that we were born and brought up on the plateau, you know how much benefits we have benefited from it. If you go to terminus market, you take center. A lot of inside terminus market, I even get lost inside the terminus market. But you see, majorly now, the problem is that because of anger and other things, we have part of the thing that is disturbing and causing the executive order. I didn't mean the terminus market was not destroyed. Do you think people will be selling on the road? We don't have it that way because at the right time. Then on the other hand, I want to speak on the issue of the budget. You see, on this issue of budget, the budget, how much is being allocated to the Ministry of Humanitarian and Poverty Reduction? You see, these are critical questions that Nigerians must ask because presently, due to the subsidy removal, even if such humongous amount of money is allocated for the budget, how much is the massive benefit? Will it start to bring down the prices of food items? A lot of questions need to be asked. And in the aspect of education, even in the aspect of education, Nigerians are out of school. The children cannot even go to school. So what is the major thing that Nigerians are benefiting from the money being budgeted and budgeted clearly in their house? How much has it reduced the hardship in the country? These are the major things that I want to say this morning. And let me conclude this with the issue of Shirye. You see, Nigerians, we are not surprised to do what Shirye is doing. He has even said that the president should not go by what President Tinubu should not go. He always negotiate with bandits. You understand? These are some of the things we don't want to hear. But the only thing we see is to see the arrest of minors taking and people are supposed to be invited and ask questions. Someone that can go and visit the bandits and even snap pictures with them. And we are still in this country and we are still politicizing the issue of insecurity in this country. I think we must do the right thing. The right thing must be done before things get out of hand. I pray this country change for good. And the neighbor, thank you and God continue to bless you people for your good work.
God bless you too. God bless you too, Adewumi asked a very, very crucial question, a sensitive one at that. He says, how much is allocated to the Ministry of Humanitarian and Poverty Reduction? Because only that way will Nigerians feel the impact of this very budget. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, good morning. Good morning, Mr. Benedict.
Please permit me to say good morning to good morning to and very welcome.
Good morning, Benedict.
I've been listening to your analysis and the management in this video. Honestly, I want to appreciate it this lady. In the issue of tourism and the plateau, honestly, I don't know if the president and the past governors are actually giving priority to the issue of tourism. I don't know if they also understand that tourism can actually fit this particular state. And make the politics could not even rely on the federal allocation, mainly federal allocation. The governor can invest seriously on this issue of tourism in the plateau. I think, honestly, I think strategy is nice. I think the fact that the governor has actually If you look at this issue of tourism and district, I think the government to look at this particular situation of coordination that the barrister and the state is doing. That a wonderful project of the plateau has actually been abandoned, and it is very, very unfair. When we're talking about tourism, we don't have government things ourselves, and the social resources, we have to abandon. Because the 3 years now, under the Lioness administration, that particular hotel has been abandoned. And I think the publicity in that place, I think the inspection and some inspection on that hotel has not been working. So these are 3 years now. That I can say for sure, because I used to meet some of my friends, some of my business partners coming from Lagos, coming from Anambra State. In that particular hotel, they come to tell me that they need to take care. They know that they need to get the news that the plastic is in center of war. That is a place where they do this war. So they want to stay in a place that is very, very secure. And the only thing that comes to my mind is the situation of them, which is Sector 1 headquarters is located. And when they get there, they feel relaxed. In this couple of years now, I don't really know the activity that they're going on there. So I'm appealing to the government, let them look in work. And then make sure that they know the salary, the statement of salary paid by the workers in that place is actually settled. And then, without that particular hotel, this is actually come to life again. That hotel can come to life again. And again, all the revenue that is left in that hotel can actually create secondary needs to the state. This is what the left over this year. And I don't understand why that hotel should be abandoned. That station hotel should be abandoned. And having said that, to talk about the achievements of the governor and some of his policies and some of his achievements, I think that the good governor, with his excellency, has actually done well. It wasn't that this couple of years we are still in office. Like this a month. Now, I myself have seen some unique construction, still in relation with the transport sector, the social sector has just been left out. We have actually attended seriously to it. The health and education is also on it. So we should give him more time. And if we talk about the issue of the terminal market that was actually criticized yesterday, the democracy that we are into, give people an opportunity to decide what they want. If they say they don't want it, they don't want that market come to life again in that particular area. If you respect that, all of us will respect that. It's not because Lalon is the governor then or because the people are starting to like to say no. I certainly believe that the people know why. And they don't want that hotel, they don't want that market in that place. So actually, perspective is not far from that particular place. The market is important, you know. But if the only reason why the electorate, the market is there, I think all of us, not just the people, should also respect that. I think the government should look at what is in it.
Thank you, Mr. Benedict.
You have a very strong plan going on now, very, very soon on that particular market.
Thank you so much, Mr. Benedict. Thank you so much, Mr. Benedict. Do have a wonderful day. Thank you for that beautiful insight and input you just gave. Unfortunately, we will not be able to take more calls because we are out of time. We're so sorry. If you're calling in and we are not able to pick your call, it's not because your input and submissions are not important, but because we are unfortunately out of time. We will be back here, same time, same station, come Monday. And we promise we're going to give enough time for us to call in and give our input. It's just unfortunate that these days we run out of time because the issues at hand needs a lot of analysis and all that. We're so sorry. Barrister, you want to say your last words to our listener?
By my parting words, I want to, we honored one of our own that we lost, Abdullah Rocky Boy, aka Peace Ambassador. We honor him the last time I was here, that was on Wednesday, and that was when we got the news of his unfortunate demise. And we pray that may the good Lord repose his soul.
Amen.
And then in honor of Abdullah Rocky Boy, I want to acknowledge people like Krizi Izam, Bashir Dankoli, Adewumi Bauchi Road, Radio Mama, Voice of Plateau State, Benedict from Faringada, Ike Kalu, Omar Titi Anti, Usman Big Seven, Mazi Patrick Okorafo, Ismail Isa, and so many other names that time will not allow us to mention. You are adding, we appreciate you, you are adding input. At times, even after our analysis, we are also waiting to get your opinions. You are also shaping this program. We will not wait until you are no more to honor you. We want to honor you while you are alive. And this honor is dedicated to our wonderful friend, Abdullahi Roki Boy, to the Muslim Ummah, Juma'at Mubarak.
Juma'at Mubarak to the Muslim Ummah from me to you this morning. God bless you. Do have a very, very good day. And I pray that as you go about your business, all that your heart desires is going to be granted to you. Have a beautiful day. Bye.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion? How was your...
The Financial Services Regulation